Hello, hello. Back on deck. It's been a while. I've been on vacation in California. And it's one of those things I go, all right, I'm going to do a live stream today. And then, some family member or friend is going to come up and do something or this or that. But I'm back. So I actually got this as a message, simple ways to get over your ex. And I've gone over stuff like this before. It might be redundant for some of you out there, but if you're going through it and you're new to the channel, simple ways to get over your ex. Short answer is I don't know if anything's simple to get over your ex. If you cared for that individual in a high way, or you love them and had a deep relationship, I don't know if it's simple. Saying that, the ideas that I'm going to give you or things I'm going to give you, what's up, Justin, are simple. Implementing them for some people are difficult, especially at first. Kyle Reynolds, the man, the myth, the legend. What's up, my friend? I usually don't come on at this time, so this will be probably more favorable for certain time frames. I'm a little nasally right now. I could feel it. Had some allergies over here. But anyway, simple ways to get over your ex. If you guys want to add to these, especially Kyle, because he always has some good input. And I'll just get going here. I'll get cooking, and you guys can make your comments. What's up, VVS? So the simplest ways to get over your ex. It's not simple. Number one, I wrote, if you ever cared and loved for them, it won't be simple. You are breaking a habit and you are dealing with a serious loss. And really that's what it is that you are dealing with a habit, right? Whether that would be cigarettes, alcohol, coffee. These things are hard to break also, right? And so think about how you would break a bad habit, and I'll circle back to that in a moment. So one of the things, this might sound counterintuitive, and this is what a lot of people don't do, embrace the hurt. And I don't think I did that, in my worst breakup. Don't fight it or shove it to the side. And certainly don't try to dissipate it with alcohol or drugs or something like that, because people that do that, and that's quite common, it's going to bubble up later on. It's going to make you more angry. And the minute you become sober, it's 10 times worse, or 5 times worse, or 6 times worse. Cry in private, gush to a friend or family member, talk to a breakup coach, talk to a good friend or family member that really understands and wants to listen and has a good track record in relationships themselves. That's a really good start, okay? Because in the beginning, you really need to talk to someone. Everyone does that, right? And choosing who you speak to and spend your time with out of a breakup can be very important. And also, let me add this. The truth is, what works for one person may not work for another. So if you have a situation where your friend's telling you, you have to do this, or you have to do that, because that's what worked for me, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you, because your relationship was different. Your interpretation of the breakup was different. The way you operate is different. And so that's why when I talk to people one-on-one, Kyle knows this because we've done a live coaching session together. It's more about learning who you are as an individual, how you operate, how you look at things, and how we can reframe this story moving forward. And what are we looking at wrong? A lot of times we're like, oh, well, this, and this happened. Wait a minute. If we reframe it in this way, could this be true too? Oh, yeah. That helps. That helps. I'll get to the comments in a moment. Please keep them coming. So really quick, number one, I've talked about this before. Sorry if it's redundant. Change your routine. And this has to do with a bad habit or anything like that. There's a trigger. There's a time in the day where you do X, Y, Z. At 8 p.m., you get home and you watch a TV show with your ex. At 8 p.m., that's when you usually used to call your ex and talk for an hour. Whatever it is, if there's a time or a place that you go to regularly, change that routine upside down so that you're not hitting that spot. And then it's almost like peeling the scab off the wound, right? Number two, change your environment. I talk about moving sometimes, getting a new apartment, getting a new house, but you can also certainly change the places you hang out, change jobs. But changing environment's huge. This really, really helps. And some people go, oh, it's not that easy. Well, breaking up's not easy, but if you were going to ask me for one of the simplest answers to help you get over a breakup, I would say changing environment would be top 5. And you can slice that and dice it. But basically, your environment is your job, your home, your place of work, or your school. You know, a lot of you guys are in university that talk to me, and you can change all of those. You can change your classes. You can change your schedule. You can change, you know, you can do it. It might not be able to do it in one day. Number 3, build a compelling future that has nothing to do with them and check some bucket. God, I'm off today, folks. Checks some boxes on your bucket list. I've always wanted to live by the beach. So that was my example. Get some fresh air in here. You know, one of mine was I've always wanted to live by the beach. I had lived by the beach before, loved it. And then when I broke up, and I'm like, what can I do now that I couldn't do before? What can I do now? Oh, I've always wanted to live by the beach. She didn't really care about living by the beach. It was a big deal for me. All right, that's one of the things I'm going to do when I move. You see where I'm going with this? Oh, I've always wanted to skydive. She never wanted to do that. Okay, I'm going to do that. Number 4, write out a story and talk to a breakup coach. Number 5, if you have issues with jealousy, attachment, cheating, money, etc., etc., if you have some issues that are your issues that you're saying, oh, she made me jealous, oh, she made me attached, she made me cheat. No, that's something deep, dark from your past, something from your morals and value. It's going to affect you again in future relationships. So seek a therapist or a coach out, like myself. Try 2 or 3 if you're able to. I know finances don't always allow that. But I've talked to, and there's certain countries that pay for therapy. I think Australia is one. I'm not sure. And I've had people go, I've talked to a therapist, I've talked to you, and I've talked to this person. And I don't find that to be bad because they usually, out of the 3, say, I really like talking to you about this stuff. The therapist is okay. And the other person, we just didn't mesh. And so if you're going to, when I used to be in real estate and someone was going to sell a house, a lot of times you'd have to have the house painted. Okay, this is just an example, inside and out. Just a common thing before you sell houses. And you'd get 3 estimates, maybe 4. And you never want to go with the estimate that was the cheapest or necessarily the most expensive. Most people, it would be best to go in the middle because you get what you pay for. But sometimes you'd be surprised. But my point is, if you're going to get 3 estimates on your house, and you're going to go, when you go to buy a car, you're going to go to 3 car dealerships. You should get 3 different therapists or 3 different coaches if you have the ability to do that, and then pick one after you talk to them. Or now with YouTube, you know, you can watch my channel and you can watch, you know, the 100 other people that are coaches or break up this or break up that. And then whatever resonates, go for it. Number 6, be honest with yourself. Are you chasing a bad relationship? Is it realistic that you guys will get back together and do well together and flourish and have a great relationship? Why are you so hung up on this breakup? Do you believe that this is really the only one you'll ever meet? Answering questions like this for yourself get real quick. Number 7, check your self-talk. Have a good conversation with yourself. Be your own coach when you need to be. If something starts festering and being negative, stop it. You have that power. Number 8, cut people out that are negative towards your future or your breakup. Right now, support and compassion are what you need, and a good kick in the ass, but not all at once. Does that make sense? Sometimes I give people a kick in the ass. I give them a reality check, but I don't do it all at once. And I'm also monitoring, is this a person that's ready for a kick in the ass? It's really an art, to be honest with you. And not everyone knows how to do it. Take responsibility and accountability for your role. This is huge. Don't blame people. You had a role in the breakup. You had a responsibility. And even if someone did this, they did that to you, they did this, why'd you let them? I just did a story it's probably going to go on in the next day or 2. I haven't uploaded it yet. And this individual mentioned 7 times how, 6 or 7 times how the boyfriend keeps posting Instagram posts of other women and sending them to her. And it's like, well, at what point are you going to tell them this is unacceptable? That's where your power is, and that's the responsibility for you feeling unappreciated. Number 10, get crystal clear on what happened and And why? Don't assume if you did one thing different, it would have been all different. I did this myself. It's a big problem for a lot of people. Oh, if I would have said this or I would have done this in this time, then it would have been, rose petals and wine glasses, peaches and cream for the rest of our life. That's just not true. Even if that event would have went different, you still could have broke up in the future. All roads and paths lead to now. Number 11, find meaning in it all. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl is a great book. Some people aren't ready for it. It might not correlate right away, but the basic meaning is, or the basic premise is that everything that happens to you has a meaning that you give to it. And if you give your breakup the meaning that this had to happen and I'm going to grow from it, well, that's going to serve you moving forward. If you give this breakup the meaning that I'll never meet someone like this again, they were the most beautiful woman I've ever been with, and I'll never do better than her, well, then that's just not going to serve you. You need to find a new meaning for that breakup. You need to find something else. You need to say, well, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever been with. I was so lucky to be with her. And God damn it, I'll find someone equal or higher value because I'm capable. Number 12, cut off contact with social media and your ex. This isn't always 100% true, but in most cases it is, especially if you're highly attached to getting back together. You need time to figure out what it is you want, and this will take some time alone. All right, folks. Let's see what we got going here. Like I said, I feel a little nasally today. I feel a little slow. I'm a little off still. Haven't been sleeping well. So it's like I'm sleeping, but I'm waking up at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I'm still off the clock. The man, the myth, the legend. Hello, show. I need my ex on here ASAP. Just changed my number. He showed up at my new apartment last night. He doesn't understand I no longer want to be together. It's extremely frustrating that I'm being honest. But he refuses to believe me. If someone's showing up at your doorstep unannounced, and you feel uncomfortable as a woman, you can say, hey, look, if you're going to continue to do this, I'm going to contact the police. Because that's when it gets a little scary, right? Are you being clear and concise every time you speak to him, Vanessa? Good question, Kyle. I feel it's best to move on from my ex, but don't know if it's right or wrong. Going back to that, Vanessa, I've come across this a lot. Someone will be like, they keep coming to my house or they're coming to my work. It's like, as a woman, I'm not telling you to put some guy in jail, but that threat can tell them that you're serious. In other words, you go, hey, look, if this continues, this is my house, this is my workplace. I've told you more than once. I'm being honest with you. I'm going to probably contact the police if this happens again because I'm feeling uncomfortable. I don't feel like you're going to do something, but at this point, you're not listening to me, and I don't know what's next. I feel it's best to move on from my ex, but don't know if it's right or wrong. Well, here's the thing, Ian. There's no certainty. You got to make a decision and move on it. And if you've already broken up, you're halfway there. I know she's dating now, and my gut feeling tells me she monkey branches into this new guy while we're together. Well, your gut feeling at this point is whatever. If she's dating someone new, you got to back off and you got to start continuing to live your own life. Whether it's a monkey branch or a lot of people, oh, it's a monkey branch, oh, it's a rebound. It doesn't take away the fact that they're dating someone else. Okay. And it hurts. And you're not going to sit around waiting, wishing, hoping, trying to give her a happy birthday here and there. She's dating someone else. It's time for you to move forward and move on. Yes, because I drink wine with some friends yesterday and they did not help. I felt worse. Well, your friends, VC, will always project their own experiences onto you. So if they had a bad relationship, or if they hate men, or their last husband cheated on them with 3 women and got someone pregnant, they're all gonna project onto you what happened to them. And if they're miserable in their own lives, they want you miserable. And if someone's really happy in their lives or seems happy, sometimes they don't even want to hear what's going on with you. So there's a fine line between two of them. Maybe it's time, VC, that you booked a live coaching session. Ian, keep yourself busy, like real busy. That's good short advice. It is. Kyle Reynolds, I had so many wow realization moments in the coaching session. I'm currently building some money again, but I will book soon. I'm doing okay at the moment. Don't feel an urgent need, but I'll change. Right on, Kyle. We had a good live coaching session. It was fun. You're a character, man. But yeah, there was a few moments where you're like, oh, wow. I have that a lot where someone goes, wait, I didn't think about it that way. I didn't frame it that way. Every story and every interpretation of your breakup story is made up by you. The interpretation part. Think about that. You've um, you've put together that interpretation. It's not necessarily 100% true. Yes, Kyle, but he will get upset and say, "Okay, fine, I heard you loud and clear." Then a day later, it'll be as if I never said a word, and he acts like all is dandy, and the cycle repeats 2 months now. If he's showing up at your house, Vanessa, you have a right to go to the police. Luna Martinez, what's up, Vegas? Uh, Fun Sawa, what's going on? Finally, a decent hour for me. Yeah, I have a live coaching session on the East Coast at 8 p.m. So what time is it now? My clock's still on Thai time on my computer. Right. I've started therapy this month, and I'm glad it's so helpful. Well, good, VC. The thing is, too, what people don't realize is that if you go to a therapist and you don't like them, or you talk to a coach and you don't like them, then don't go back. Don't feel obligated. Some people are going to resonate or line up with you, and you feel like, oh, that was a good one. That's right. The key is to get in there and start talking to someone. Because the longer you put things to the side, you might get over it, but it'll bubble up later on. Reframing a breakup to something good that happens for you helps if you use it correctly purely because of the energy you have to make positive change. Right on, Kyle. All right. Reframe breakup that's happened for you helps if you use it correctly. Okay. Being in his shoes is the worst. I don't know what pushed you to breaking up with him, but Vanessa, being in his shoes is the worst. I don't know what pushed you to breaking up with him, but it's going to take 1 to 3 months for him to finally accept the breakup. Why? Because it takes time. Luna, it doesn't excuse the fact if someone's showing up to your house after you've blocked them on email and a phone. If you're broken up with an individual, you might want to show up at their house once, but not repeatedly. It's way too far. Where's Rob, my personal coach? Not sure. It's not the usual time. Great suggestion, tips, Mac. He's my personal coach, too. He's awesome. Rob's a man. He'll probably double bill me. I told him to send me an invoice. You're talking to Rob in private? What's going on here? When you say cut off social media contact, does that mean a complete block from them or just staying away from viewing their social? See, people always do this. They get too intricate. Yeah, cut off social media. Yes. Don't have access to, if seeing your ex on social media hurts you in any way, makes you upset or brings you back to ground zero in any way, then you should have this is what people do. Well, I blocked them, but I actually had access to their password or this or that. Don't do that to yourself. If you're going on a diet, you wouldn't have cookies and ice cream in the fridge. If you're going on a social media fast because it's hurting you, then go all in. Ian Dorgan, don't think about what your ex is doing. It doesn't serve you. The reality is, if she broke up with you, that's really the reality you live in. Mac's best advice ever is just saying, where is your power? You love that one, huh? This thing works in any situation, family, life. I do it myself. Luna, yes, true. I mean, we were together 7 years. He was verbally and emotionally abusive and had anger issues. Yes, next time I will be calling the police. He accuses me of leaving him for a coworker. Just don't even play the game, VVS. I mean, the more that you talk about it and play, just go straight. If you feel like that, calling me a lesbian, whatever helps him get over me because he cannot believe he's the reason I've left. Yeah, at this point, you know what to do. That's your power. My mom got back with her ex of 4 years because he begged and pleaded and bought her gifts. I've never seen anything so obscure because it actually worked in his case, although unhealthy. Anything, those things can work. And it depends on the relationship, really. But I mean, for me, that's using pity. But I don't know what he was saying sorry for. So it can work. It's not my suggestion. Where is Your Power is an awesome book name. Gotta go. My kids are destroying my house. I'll watch it back later. Right on, VC. 258 Juan. What up, Mr. Juan? Washington's finest. Dylan, how are you? What's up, crew? How's your visit back home going, Mac? It's good. Always good to see family. The weather's been okay. When I first got here, it was a little bit cold for me. Right now, I got a little bit of allergies bothering me, but overall, it's good, man. Everyone's on deck. Well, we got 13. That's okay. We'll take that. How's the book coming back? You need a trademark. Where's your power post? I know. I was actually, that's funny because I was looking over notes for my book today, and I'm not going to call it that, but you're right. I do need to trademark that. I was thinking about that actually today. It's funny you brought that up. Probably some of these other people just don't know. I never come on at this time, right? This is kind of odd. I'm good. I missed the live stream. I died of boredom without them. Well, okay, Dylan. Well, I appreciate that, bud. Excuse me. I don't have my mic now to have this, but I guess the audio is pretty good with this cheap. Okay, you really do. I'm going to remind you every time I'm on here until you do. Okay, fair play. I'll get the lawyer tomorrow. I got some friends I'm talking. How's your trip going? It's good. It's all right. Yeah, I have a good relationship with my parents, so staying with my parents is always good. I got a niece and a nephew. My niece is she's 24 now, and my nephew's 19. We're really close, so whenever I get to see them, it's nice. I'm sorry, bud. Kyle, you can no apologies needed, but I did miss it. As a coach who likes to entertain the idea of getting an ex back in certain scenarios, I'm really intrigued how you challenge Rollo Tomasi's belief that getting back with exes is going through trash. What's up, Monica? Well, it's simple. Most books and most YouTube channels, I don't know if you want to call it coaches or authors, and I shouldn't even say most because I don't know. I haven't researched this in a way that, but in me browsing or looking around, everyone wants to put a one size fits all. Well, do this in this situation. Well, don't ever go back to your ex because it's trash. Well, there's exceptions to all this shit. So, I could throw out 15 different scenarios where, yeah, it would be good to get back with your ex because, I mean, the thing is The Rational Male, Rollo Tomasi. I like the book. It's highly entertaining. I like where he comes from in a lot of ways. And he nails it. I mean, 80%. The guy that recommended the book to me is someone that has a very popular YouTube channel called, you might want to check it out, 1% Better. And 1% Better is the name of the YouTube channel. It does book reviews. And I know him personally. When I very first started this quest, I did a little coaching with him, but not coaching him, he was talking to me about YouTube as a coach. So being from someone that had a successful channel, and then we talked a few times after that, really cool dude. And he had suggested the book, The Rational Male, he's like, oh my God. And he goes, I agree with about 80% of it because it's really strong material. And that's how I look at a lot of books, Kyle. I mean, I read a lot of self-improvement, psychology, neuroscience books I really like. And I'm never going to be like, oh, this is 100% all true. I take what I want from it. And I get Rollo Tomasi's view of how does he word it? I know what you're saying because I know that part of the book. Belief that getting back with exes is going through the trash. I mean, that's a statement that fits that book. And it applies to certain breakups, but not all. Absolutely not. And there are breakups where I would encourage people to get back together. There are breakups where I encourage people to break no contact. There are breakups where I tell people, hey, look, if you want to circle back on this in 2 or 3 months, there's a guy, he comes on the live stream sometimes. I'm not going to say his name, but we did a live coaching session 2 or 3 months ago. Interesting story. Broke up with his fiance, had an ex get back in the picture, just all kinds of smoke involved in it, And he basically sabotaged the relationship, and he knew it. He came clean with me, and we had a really good 2 coaching sessions because he had trouble the second time. He was like, "Let me just tell you the truth. I held back some things, dude." I'm like, whatever you want to share, man. And then he felt better about it. He took responsibility, accountability, but he lost his fiance in the process. Now, I think it's been about 2 or 3 months, he just hit me up for another coaching session, and he just wanted to tell me that he went back after I think it's been 3 months, and asked her out, and they had a pretty good first date. Does that mean they're back together? No. But I had told him that the way it ended, he should be in no contact and accept it. But in 2 or 3 months, he could definitely circle back and maybe ask her out because they had a really good relationship and they didn't have a lot of problems until the very end. And so my point is, Kyle, my long answer is there is no answer for every single breakup. The answer is tell me your breakup story and then I'll give you an answer. And a lot of people, well, how do I get my ex back? They just left me and told me that they're moving to Maine, and it's like, well, give me some more details. So my answer is always going to be, what's the story? And then if you really want to get deep, I need to probably do a live coaching session. I can give you these takes on a video, but they're not going to get as deep as a live coaching session. So sorry, what do you think of that answer, Kyle? So I would say I probably disagree completely because each individual, there are breakups where the individuals can get back together and it's worth going back to the ex because the problem's fixable or the relationship's worth salvaging. Where are you staying at, Mac? I'm in Northern California, very close to what they call the campfires or paradise. About a year ago, they had these huge fires in Northern California, and I'm about 30 minutes from there, actually. Monica, hello. That's awesome, fam. Is everything starting to date a new guy and keep thinking of an ex? Well, that's when the comparing comes up, huh? Why are you thinking of the ex? Because the current person you're dating just doesn't match up or they're not as good? Question. One of my ex's friends from her inner circle added me 2 days ago. I found post her friend posted from a year ago that my ex was at a party drinking with other girls and this is why, if you're sensitive to social media, then don't do it. If you're sensitive to pictures and you want to play detective from a year ago, and I'm not getting on you, Luna. I mean, it happens, right? I'm not a huge social media person. I'm just saying, like, where's your power? You don't want any access to this shit. You guys are broken up. I feel that this is not normal. Why would you say it's not normal, Monica? Anytime you start dating someone new, it's human nature to compare. If I love pizza and tacos are my favorite, and there's a place I really like for tacos, and it's a taco truck in town. It's got great prices. I mean, it just checks all the boxes. And I go there for tacos regularly, and that taco truck disappears. It went somewhere else. It went out of business. And a new taco truck appears down the road. I'm going to compare the fucking tacos, and I'm going to go, this place fucking sucks. I really wish I had those other tacos back. Wow, I value them so much. And so if the new person you're dating doesn't level up to this other guy or really isn't that great, then of course you're going to be thinking about the other person. You had no idea it happened, Luna? Well, it doesn't matter now that you're broken up, does it? Or does it increase the idea that you're better off without her? You can't call an ex trash just because someone wasn't for your, doesn't mean they're trash. It just doesn't work for you. I mean, in the moment, if they did something really sleazy or bad to hurt you and you want to say something mean, fine. But yeah, it didn't work for you. People say things like that to cause a reaction and get your attention. Think of it that way. Those extremes are trash. What he's saying, though, about the book, just to clarify, is that I don't think, well, I know Rollo Tomasi, the author, wasn't calling your ex trash. He's saying to not sift through the trash. He was saying it in a cool guy kind of way, but he wasn't actually calling the ex trash. He was saying don't sift back through the trash. But what he's assuming is that when you broke up with your ex, that it was a bad situation that you don't want to revisit. And that's just not always the case. They're just trying to sell book seminars. The other thing that she posted a photo of her and my ex 2 days ago. And to be honest, it was sort of a wake up call. My ex looks rough. The last time I saw her, I feel like I'm slowly outgrowing her. Okay, well, I guess it looks, if you place a lot on that. I wouldn't continue to look at the pictures, because what happens if she looks all done up going out on a Friday night in a short skirt and boots, and, she's out with a guy, and now you're tracking her, and then you're going to go back to ground zero. Just lay off checking her photos, defriend that friend. Luna, just move on. Thank you. It's past time for you to be done. Stop talking. Stop stalking her Instagram or Facebook post. What time is it in the East Coast, folks? Are you guys in the East Coast? Okay, so I got. All right. Luna, just move on. It's past time for you to be done. So stop. That's all. When someone says you're stalking someone, that's very negative. I still haven't got to read those books you suggested for me, Mac. I've had no access to Wi-Fi. I can't wait to read them. They sound interesting. Right on, Dylan. What's up, Patricia? Rancho Cucamonga? What do you do about a guy that's on and off, coach? Haven't you asked me that before? Put him on the spot. Ask direct questions. Thanks, little bird. 7:14 p.m. Right on. I got an 8 p.m. So good answer. I feel satisfied that you have that belief. Maybe there is too much hope, though. Been watching Craig Kenneth, and your ex will most likely reach out and gave me this false illusion. Again, I mean, Kyle, the funny thing is generalizations about breakups are ridiculous. Well, most breakups, what in the world? I mean, come on, dude. This is, it's not like measuring hair color where people could go around and go, well, there's this many people that are blonde in the world. It's like this many people with green eyes. And breakups aren't like that. They're too intricate. There's too much nuance. And so if you sit around and go, oh, Craig Kenneth says that most people reach out. What's most? 20%, 30%? I think the guy from the love chat, well, due to my studies, my scientific reach, if someone's in no contact, it's I found out if it's over 8 months, 8 months is a number. It's like 8 months is a significant number. That's just my research, of dealing with these. If it's after 8 months, they don't usually reach out. It's like, well, that's a huge window for you to be correct. Again, Kyle, what's your individual story? What's your individual story? Let's go through it instead of you generalizing. There's no generalization here. This is, it's like there's too much involved, right? What's up, EG? There's too much involved that you can't put it in attachment boxes and all these other things, okay? Put the social media down. I unfriended my ex because she ain't my friend no more. Right on, Wolfskin. Love the name. It's what you said. I keep comparing them. The connection is very different. It doesn't level up. Well, that's what it is, son. You got someone that you feel like makes your ex seem more valuable. It's just because the individual you're with you're not as attracted to. But if you were with someone, and I've done this before, where they're better than the person you dated before, well, then that even enhances them better. Mr. Slamming 123, how are you doing, buddy? Thanks for the update on the time, folks. I appreciate it. So I got about 30 or 40 minutes because I got an 8 p.m. A guy can't be on and off by himself. Takes two to tango. Well, I mean, it can, but I'm saying he said we never get anywhere as far as meeting up, but he's not asking me out. I think he's asking me to suggest something, coach. Well, you can think and you can think and you can think. I mean, but at some point you need to act. And so, like I said, it's 2019, it's the 21st century. If you want to make a move because the guy's shy, there's nothing wrong with that. If that makes you unattracted to him, that's something different. There's some women that will lead. There's some women that are aggressive, and maybe that's what it's going to take to see where he stands. Maybe you have to go in for the kiss. Maybe you have to initiate something. Otherwise, Catherine 1209. Hi there. I've never seen you on the live stream because I have a really good memory. So if you have any questions, let me know. What's it like in California, Mac? I wouldn't mind going there for a look. Well, California is a huge state, country. So Northern California and Southern California are completely different. But the weather's pretty nice here right now, I guess. There's a lot of fires around the state. But if I had to suggest one place that's really nice, is San Diego. San Francisco is a nice city. Mac has to go in a few minutes, so get your questions and comments in now. How am I doing, Mac? I can be your producer. Thanks, hon. I got 30, 40 minutes. It's fine. Patricia, he's hard to even get in touch with. Well, I mean, why aren't you dating other guys, Patricia? Why aren't you putting yourself out there to maybe meet someone else? Because this just doesn't seem ideal. You're working on someone or spending a lot of time and energy on a relationship that's got hurdles and dead ends. Okay, if he's busy or he has work and he's not texting back in a timely manner, that's fine. I mean, what's a timely manner? That can be debatable, right? So why don't you open up the floodgates to date some other guys? I don't know where you want to go. If you want to go dating apps, if you want to go to wine festivals, if you want to go to, whatever it is, concerts, whatever you do. What did I miss from the beginning? Oh, it's fairly simple, Mr. Slamming. I went over something that I've gone over many times before about basically simple ways to get over your ex, because someone asked me that as a question. I'll probably come back to that again, but Mr. Slamming, is there any simple things that you can think of that were good? Well, he's an attorney. He'd probably have a busy job, and probably his job comes first. Well, I blocked her, and her friend's been better. Currently got some options in school and church. There you go. Not many people talk about church as an option. Good for you, man. At least your values line up. If a man doesn't call you, he doesn't want you, get scarce. I mean, there is situation, folks, where there are guys that are shy and that like a woman that makes the first move. So, I mean, if you feel like you're attracted to the guy and you are a confident individual and you want to, move the wheel before they move the wheel, you can do that. Today I was driving home thinking about everything, and I tried to give me a sign. If anyone knows my channel, there's a video where and it's actually a true story where I'm driving home. I fucking remember that right now too. And I'm like, give me a sign. I was screaming into the car, give me a sign. And then I tell the story in the video. I should attach that video. The Scarcity is Attractive is the most popular video by far on my channel, but that video is probably the best story, or the one that's referenced the most, for sure. I've had, actually, the funny thing about that, Kyle, I swear to God, this is the truth. I never say swear to God, actually. It's something we used to say like when you're in middle school. I'm funny. I've had people tell me that they've done this and they got a synchronicity or a sign. So it's usually in a couple days. You should come visit Tassie. It's awesome, especially in the summer. And don't remind me about fires. Huge brush next time, my hometown. Oh, wow. I've heard really good things about Tasmania, and there's a few Tasmanian devils in the area I live in Phuket, for sure. There's a couple people from there. Really nice people. Just rewind it. Thumbs up. Thank you. Thanks for the thumbs up. Live your life. Mac 10. Yo, live. Okay, Catherine. Yo, what's up, Skinner? Chicago's finest. Chicago. The Bulls. Bears. Remember that from Saturday Night Live? That's an old one. The Warriors aren't looking so good, Skinner. Mr. Slamming, it's about time. Sometimes I think I want to get back with my ex, but I remember all the mental issues she had and the other things that bug me. Seriously, that's one of the questions I asked before a live coaching session. I'm like, what's some of the things you won't miss? And sometimes people are like, oh, and then they'll be like, oh, I won't miss a roommate. I won't miss this. It's like nobody's fucking 100% perfect, man. I'm distanced. Then he starts texting me. He doesn't communicate that well. Well, stop Stop focusing on one individual that doesn't meet up to your standards and stop putting yourself out there to meet someone else, Patricia. Have another question, Mac. No problem, Carl. I like your questions. They're good. How long after your relationship were you done with your ex? Give me a sign computer moment till you thought maybe I'm done and had another weak moment. Did you? Wow, that's really specific. I wouldn't be able to give a specific answer to that. I just remember in that moment that I was somehow done. I remember going out in outside my sister's house and running sprints. And it was like 10:30 at night. I had my music in, I just ran sprints. And I was just upset. Didn't cry. I'm not a big crier. Not that I'm tough or something like that. Just that's not how I've been. And I ran those sprints and something clicked that I was done. Did I have another weak moment? I didn't really have weak moments of breaking no contact a lot because I knew deep down that we were done, deep down. And I knew that by calling or something like that, it was just going to wilt the situation. And so I was pretty good mentally about not having a weak moment of calling them back. I just was hurting, just missed having my partner of 5 years, my girlfriend around for good moments and bad moments. But I wasn't always like, oh, I'm just going to call. I never had those like, I'm just going to call. No, it wasn't like that for me. Some people are like, oh, I'm just going to flip it and call. No, that wasn't an option in my head. I was just dealing with, we lived together for 5 years, man. It's tough. It's tough. It's like it's an addiction. It takes time to move on from your ex. In the beginning, it's tough, but it's an opportunity to work on you. And if she just comes back, then it's a bonus. Just live your life and be happy. Mr. Slammy, that is the gospel. Thank you, sir. It's okay, Mac. My team is trash, too. I'm not upset, dude. You know what? I mean, the Warriors have had a tremendous run, and we were due. And I'll tell you what, I'd rather be a top 5 lottery team than someone that's outside the lottery or number 10. A top 5 player, if we can get one, I'm on board. And let this kid Pascal play. I love this kid, Eric Pascal from Villanova. Said he's coming to my area, but then didn't let me know what time. So confused. Where's your power, Patricia? Stop letting this individual, be misleading and stuff and redirect the situation and go, hey, look, our communication's not up to par. I like you. I'm interested. But this window and this door is going to shut at some point. So if you want to start dating or going out, let me know and stand up to this. If you're too busy, I understand you got a job. If you're just not interested, just tell me. Put them on the fucking spot. Maybe that'll push them away. Maybe it won't, but it'll take you out of the area you're in now where you're like, oh, I'm so confused. Right? It's like you're walking around and you can't see or something. Hi, Mac. Hi, everyone. What's up, Mel Bell? What's wrong with guy I was dating 2 months? Total no contact. Everything, he's following me via friends. Little Bird, I don't have enough information to give you an answer on that. Maybe you want to send your story in. Which would you prefer, having a quality relationship or quantity in a relationship? At this point in my life, quality. I think as you get older, you value that more. When you're in your early 20s, maybe I'm not speaking for everyone. I think that more people seek quantity. Mac, today my ex texted me saying, yo. I said, yo, what's up? And she said, she has a long story for me. She's been circling for a while, Skinner. And Skinner's just sitting back, Dunkin' Donuts, just hanging out, just taking it easy, going, enjoying the circling. She's been circling for a while. Enjoy it, bud. Yesterday I was like, wow, I'm finally over the hump. I don't want her back anymore. Then I woke up and I was like, balls, maybe not. What the fuck? No, I mean, that's how it works, Kyle. I remember having days where I went exercising. I hung out with friends. And I was like, damn, I'm fine. I'm going to be okay. I feel great. And then get back to ground zero when you wake up and, your bed's empty. Totally get it. It's part of the deal, man. It takes time, bro. No idea. He seems to be all over the place. Literally texts when he gets around to it. Again, where's your power, Patricia? Job is a priority, definitely. If you're a lawyer, it usually is. And some women find that attractive. If you don't, then move forward, move on. Consider doing a video of why people want to stay stuck or go back to an ex and not want to go seek something new? Why do people fear change and newness? Well, people are wired for familiarity, even if familiarity is bad. So you always wonder when someone's with someone that's a really bad boyfriend or girlfriend, why they keep going back. Well, they know what's coming next, and that's comfortable to some people. And they are hooked to the fact that if they break up with this person, then this person will fall deeper. So there's all kinds of narratives attached to that. Bad relationships keep people in longer sometimes because the fear of the other person getting hurt, the fear of the other person becoming a worse drug addict, the fear of the other person losing their job. There's all kinds of things that attach people to that. But that is a good topic. Thank you for that. Why people want to stay stuck or go back to an ex. Another short answer to that is we always want a replacement, and you don't have a replacement immediately available. And so someone, to some people, is better than nothing. They're extremely scared of being alone. Why is my ex playing the victim? I ran into a post of hers a week ago, and it stated something about it's going to take time, it hurts, but you will get over this. It's okay to hurt, but that will end. I mean, maybe that's how she really feels, right? Because you're going through the same things. Yes, we'll say that, Coach. Thank you. Yes, sir. Quality, definitely, Coach. Yeah, I think quality. I mean, like I said, when you're younger, especially as a guy, I think you're thinking quantity, even if someone doesn't want to say that. If you want to get over your ex, don't stalk them and do some exercise. Walk, run, even swim. I'm walking and swimming 24/7. It's good for you, bud. Lunch dates better than dinner dates with an ex. In your case, Mr. Slammy, I don't know. If you went on dinner before and it went well, and that's something you went to, I think dinner is fine, and I think dinner has the opportunity to lead to something if it goes well. Not assuming that, but lunch would definitely be more casual. So in your case, and knowing your case, I would say dinner at this point. Honestly, in certain cases, if they suggest lunch and that's okay with you, but if you're interested in maybe going somewhere with it, I'd go with dinner because it provides more of an opportunity if things go well. Honesty is the best policy, I think. Of course, relationships are overrated. Who needs tons of sex when you can watch Colin Sexton? Isn't Colin? Is that a basketball player? Black Widow, how are you? I haven't seen you for a while. Hey, Mac, how are you? Fear frar is false emotion feeling real. Okay, you need to find out what your fear is. Good point, Mel Bell. He's interested but trying to fit me in around his schedule since time is so limited. Yeah, you're spending way too much time trying to figure out how to make this relationship work, Patricia. Give yourself the opportunity to meet some other people and put yourself out there a little bit because this current situation is obviously not ideal. And if it comes around and he gets the message, it'll probably be from you pulling away a little bit. No contact for 7 months, still not over my ex. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. If you've been in no contact for 7 months, that's a nice run, though. Congrats on that. I think it's how that person makes you feel more than the person. That's why you keep going back. That's a good point. But there are people that someone makes you feel crappy. But saying that, Monica, psychology 101, some people that have low self-esteem and feel bad about themselves, if someone supports that in a sick way, they like that because that's what they believe about themselves. Have you ever met someone and you give them a compliment and you say, oh, you look beautiful today? No, I don't. I'm fat. No, I don't. I look horrible. It's like if they go out with someone that tells them that, even though it hurts them, at least it lines up with what they believe. I'll ask if she's available, but she's always busy. So I withdrew my offer and I have her reach out to me and she's available. Today she hit me up and I asked her for lunch and she said yes. Oh, good for you, bud. Well, fine. Go to lunch. For sure. Go to lunch then. Don't overthink that, Mr. Slammy. Just you guys going out, having a connection again, having a good time. I asked her for lunch and she said yes. Today she hit me up. Okay, fine. She probably wants to make you work based on what you told me before. And you just got to find that fine line where you're not annoying and needy but at the same time you're making an effort. So there's a fine line. You know what I mean by that, right? Because from what you told me about her before, she's not gonna just come back into your arms. She's gonna play some, she's gonna shit test you here and there, and you got to provide a challenge. You can't just be like, oh, I just want to be back together. You know what I mean? Luna, how do you run into a post? That is true. She's got a point. Haven't seen you in a while. I've been MIA. Well, I hope you're well, Black Widow. Yeah, I've been in California for a week visiting family. A little over a week, so I've only been on a live stream once. What if she reached out but you ignored her, not knowing how to respond? Do I reach her or do I move on? Don't overthink it and do whatever you want, but just do it with low expectations. If she reached out, you ignored her, not knowing how to respond. I mean, if you didn't know how to respond, then don't respond. I mean, what happens is everyone overthinks everything because they want this certain way that everything will turn out well. And the reality is you could get rejected. The reality is they could tell you they hate you. But, I mean, you got to play the game. Said he will make time for me if we get together. Sure, how that works out. A man who is interested makes time no matter how busy he is. Good point, Mel Bell. Cavs PG turned shooting guard because of Garland coming, been carrying the last year. So Kyle, I didn't know you were into hoops. You're into the NBA like this? When you wrote that, I was like, what? I just had a coaching session, and the dude's like, I love basketball. It's sort of my passion. I'm like, oh shit. We started talking basketball for like 10 minutes. I was like, sorry to get off. He's like, no, man, I love basketball. He had this accent. It's so funny. Yes, we have minimal contact until finally meet. Okay, guys, have fun. Great job tonight, Matt. Number one coach out there. Cheers. Thank you. I put the golden boy to bed. Right on. The golden boy. That reminds me of Oscar De La Hoya. That was his nickname. How long did it take you to get over your relationship, Mac? Which one? No. The worst one? I mean, probably the top of my head, a year. What really helped was moving. And I tell people that a lot. And that was probably about 8 or 9 months later. 8 or 9 months later, yeah. Broke up in January, February, late January, October. Like 10 months. But moving was a turning point for me. Yes, we have minimal contact until finally. Sorry, it's fair or false emotion appearing real. Okay. Rest, ice, compression, elevate. Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, she's probably testing me. I mean, she's not going to make it easy. She's not a dummy, and she's got value, so she's not going to make it easy on you, Mr. Slammy. You just got to keep your frame and, not bite or overreact or get needy or weak and just continue to, play your game, if you will. I like all sports gambler. Remember, first season was Cleveland. I did it for you, and I got hooked. Okay. What about exes who want to be friends just to keep you around? My ex tried it, but after being broken up for more than a year, he threatened me over his belongings that I hold him to come get, but didn't. I really dislike Kevin Love, though. Okay, sorry. I threw his crap out. He threatened me, and now he wants to be friends. Hell no. I cut him off completely. No contact, no friends, no associates. So, well, that's where your power is, Black Widow. I mean, if that guy is making that big a deal about his stuff, he's just using it as a bridge. He would have got his stuff a long time ago. Sometimes people leave stuff with an ex just as a bridge to get to call them up and hassle them. It's like some people, you owe your ex like $300, which they didn't care about, before you broke up, and now they're bringing it up. That's bullshit. It's like, here's your $300. I'll give it to you as soon as possible. Is anyone actually regularly talking to an ex as a friend? Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people that do. Sure. I live with my boyfriend. I know him. Having access to me 100% of the time isn't good. I find stuff to do. It's my son that ignores me, and that drives me nuts. Well, depending on how old he is, I'm sure that's normal. I mean, teenage kids are like that. Kyle, I I used to really like Kevin Love, but I think with the new NBA right now, it's a little different. He's a little bit slow, and he's injury prone. Well, tell him I prefer more consistency in communication, but as at this point, it's getting old and boring. Not even meeting up. Well, yeah, it's consuming you right now because this has been almost an hour long live stream, and you've peppered that topic of him not being a good communicator about 7 or 8 times, and so you're going over the same thing over and over again. And at some point, you got to go, where's my power? Meet someone new. Stop contacting this individual and see where he really stands. He's probably not going to change if he's a lawyer and he's not putting you guys meeting up first and foremost. Exactly. Now he's like, I know we aren't together anymore, but why can't we be friends? Simple, because I don't want to be your friend. And you're not invited to my birthday either. I don't associate or befriend anyone who threatens me. Good for you. Shows where his heart was at after our breakup, regardless of whatever, however you want to frame it. You don't want to be friends. KD and Kyrie Irving is going to take the Nets to the promised land. I'm going to have to start an NBA channel. I'm telling you guys right now. Kyrie Irving he's always hurt. He's always injured. They got a good team, though. They actually got a lot of good pieces around him. They got a good coach. I want to like Kyrie, but something tells me he's the type of guy that would sleep with my wife. Ooh, that's deep. Did you ever hear the Jason Richardson, Steve Nash story? Google that. I'm not into gossip that much. The only thing that ropes me in is basketball, and then basketball has this gossip. Supposedly, Jason Richardson, Steve Nash's wife, gave birth to her baby, and if you know, Steve Nash is white, and the baby came out looking half African American, and they said it was Jason Richardson's kid. I don't know. There's a story to it. I think I'm not sure if what ethnicity Steve Nash's wife is. I don't know how I got into this gossip. This was a while back. That's crazy. It's like your buddy impregnates your wife on the team. Ooh, that's dirty. It took me like a few days to forget about mine. After I went back to school, I would have paid to either be upset about her or still be with her. Would have paid to either be upset about her or still be with her. Why would you want to be upset about her still? Yeah, that's weird. Yikes. Should I send voicemail or phone call to have a talk with him? What do you suggest, Coach? Voicemail? I don't know. People don't really like voicemail anymore in my experience. What do you guys think? I mean, voicemail is kind of like ancient. I would give him a direct call and hopefully he picks up and tell him. Yeah, I wouldn't go with voicemail. I don't know about Kyrie sleeping with your wife, but I know Dennis Rodman will. Dennis Rodman, I just saw something. He's like 56, dude. 58 or 56. Hey, Coach. Oh, now this is juicy, the gossip. Keisha, what's up? Aloha. I had a fucking shit time for the rest of my time at school till I started college. I would have done anything to get her back nearly. No one likes voicemail. Okay, there you go, Mr. Slam. That's what I was thinking in my head. Honestly, I don't even have voicemail. Yeah, I don't even have voicemail. And I remember my niece right now, my mom's like, oh, you leave a voicemail for her. She doesn't even check it. I'm like, who the fuck checks voicemail? So in my head, he's a lawyer. He certainly would check voicemail. But then here's what it is, Patricia. You're grouped in with all the other voicemails. And if they're negative, then you're grouped in with like, oh, she called me. Just call. Yeah, just call. Yeah, just call and just be upfront because you just need to be clear one way or the other, Patricia, because you're just carrying on about. And this happens to a lot of people, so I'm not just saying this like if you think I'm picking on you or something, but you're repeating the same narrative over and over again, and you're not doing anything about it. And really, if someone's not communicating on your level or they're not meeting you halfway, then maybe their interest isn't just there. And that's when you need to move on too and just accept the fact that you're here and they're here. and they're not even willing to come here to meet you. So you could sit around and go, oh, they're a bad communicator. Oh, they don't care. They don't do this. Well, if it's true, where's your power? Move forward. I'm starting to lose my light here. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, getting rejected, a lot of people are scared of that. It's hard. I understand. But at this point, if it's driving you nuts, you got to move forward, right? You got to move forward. Mac, do you hear many stories from clients about exes reaching out after significant amounts of time? I don't know what that would be. I mean, at this point, I've been doing this for 2 years. I've been much more busy this second year. So I'm sure people give me updates. But I think if the ex does come back, they don't necessarily all tell me about it. Here's the thing, Kyle, let me get clear on this. Your ex is probably going to reach out because I know your story and I know your connection. Your ex will reach out. The question is, are they reaching out just to check up on you? Do they want to get back with you? Or do they just want to be friends? And so, someone's asked me before, well, when did your ex come back to you? Did they reach out? Reaching out doesn't mean that they're going to get back with you. And I think people get that convoluted. And so sometimes they're just throwing out a line like curiosity. I know I've had an ex before that I just thought, oh, I wonder how she's doing. But on deep down inside, I was like, maybe if there was something there, maybe we could talk. But I wasn't hoping or wishing. And then the individual just told me she was married and she was with someone. I was like, oh, great, I'm happy for you. And I was sincerely and I was done with it. I didn't lose sleep over it or anything like that. And so that's an example after a significant amount of time where someone can reach out, but you don't want to be there sitting waiting. Oh my God, I never knew you were going to call me. Let's go out for dinner right away. They can reach out, but they might be checking on you. They might go, I've been asked before, I just wanted to ask you some questions about Thailand. I have a friend visiting over there. So does that convey that they want to get back together? See, that's the difference. If they're reaching out, it's not always because of that reason. It's not always cut and dry. And, they could be single and just reaching out just to do a feeler, but there still needs to be, you still need to be living in the same town. There's a lot of things, a lot of stars that need to line up. Rejection will make you stronger. Absolutely. Voicemail or text is just a way for the other person to see or hear what you have to say, but you won't be able to really speak your piece. Good point, Black Widow. That's me. I reached out to my ex, Kyle. Your ex is named Kyle, Mr. Slammy? No, I'm just joking. It doesn't mean we're back together, but it's building trust and take it day by day. Yeah, your situation, you're in a good place either way, I hope. I call that a drive-by just to see your reaction if you do respond to check up, like you said, Mac. I might adopt that one. Your ex pulled a drive-by on you. Yeah, because they literally can just go, I wonder what they're up to, and not really have a lot of, like if someone hits you up like a year later or 2 years later, and they're just like, oh, so-and-so's on my mind. I wonder how she's doing, or I wonder how he's doing. Doesn't necessarily mean they want to get back with you. If you recall, she did reach out. She wanted to meet, and I rejected friendship and gave her the "you think the grass is greener, good luck" speech. So from now, maybe she won't reach out. But I'm trying not to think about it. Well, in the moment, you said what you said. You meant it. I don't think that's going to tarnish. I don't think she's going to be hanging on like, well, he said the grass is green. I'll never talk to him again. I don't think that's the case in your case. Just let it simmer, man. Let it simmer, because you got a lot of depth to your relationship, Kyle. And she's already come back once or twice. The elephant in the room for you, Kyle, is, and then I come across this a fucking lot. You ask me what I come across a lot, is that maybe you won't like this because you got a lot of hope involved. But when an individual's in college or university or uni, whatever you guys want to call it, and they're living with other single friends, college, university life, and there's 4 or 5 roommates, and for some reason, especially, this happens a lot with guys, they're going to hang out with those friends and do single activities and want to be single. Do you follow me? And at the university level, when you're in your, let's just say you're 19 to 25, you're most likely gonna want to hook up with multiple people, or you have multiple interests. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm speaking for too many people. But you live with like 4 or 5 roommates, and you guys live in a major city, and you've had a boyfriend for 5 years. You're gonna want to see what it's like to spread your wings and just go out without calling up your boyfriend at 12 at night. Like, I just want to tell you I'm here right now. Da da da. Now that being said, they can live that life, go through that party thing, and hate it, but they have to do it. And then if they did come back, they would be all in. So that's the real thing. And I'm not blaming the friends that your ex lives with. I'm not blaming them. That's not what I'm just saying. The circumstances are, when you're in your early 20s and you're at the university level and you're hanging out with friends that are single, do you want to be the only one that has a boyfriend or girlfriend? I'm not saying you're following the crowd, but it looks like if I'm hanging out, I got buddies that I'm roommates with. When I was in college, I had some roommates and stuff. Well, we were all single at the time. But I mean, like, and they're hanging out having a good time, and they bring over, like, I don't know, a group of girls with friends of friends, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just go in my room and play on my phone because I have a girlfriend. Come on, man. I thought love was a waste of time. On night of my breakup, I felt like I was always the one who tried to think of ways to see each other more. She didn't come up with anything. Well, she didn't meet you halfway, then you're better off. Gary F. Mine moved on so fast, she set up the monkey branch behind my back. Should have left a month into dating. I saw a piece of mail with different last name. She said, oh yeah, I didn't tell you, I'm a divorcee. Well, that's something that you would tell eventually. Yeah. Well, you got your clarity, Gary. That's so true, Mac. Well, thank you. I've done that check up after a while of crap. Then I realized how I couldn't stand the relationship and the crap that happened, and told myself not to check up again. Your past will haunt you. I believe in karma. I'll tell you that much. Justin Orbadovic. Okay. My ex finished an internship for 6 months. We broke up on good terms. Should I wait for her to reach out for me, or should I reach out to her? Well, send in your full story to writemac.com and I'll give you my take. I mean, I have to know what happened, Justin Orbadovic. Maybe I gave you that name. Sounds familiar. You're definitely right, but I feel like if your connection was the great in the long run, you'd end up together regardless of all these small niche decisions you make. That's what I tell myself anyway. I'm just telling you. See, like in your situation, Kyle, even if you get back together, it doesn't take away the fact that she's living college life on her own. There's a lot of different things she's got, and you got to find yourself in your 20s. You got to try things out. They say curiosity killed the cat, but the reality is, if you don't touch the stove and get burnt, you don't know. And so you learn a lot in your 20s, and hopefully you make it through that time with some growth and some fun. Otherwise, people get to 30, 35, they're like, oh, I never had my fun. And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of women out there like at 30, like they're married or something like that, and they just go through this, I've seen it, late 20s, early 30s, and they're done because they feel like they never got to sow their oats and go out. Yeah, big red flag back then. Good for you, Gary. I mean, it is a big red flag, but you're better off without an individual like that. That's like a side note. Oh, yeah, I was divorced. Hey, oh, well, thanks for letting me know about that. When I started to lose the feelings for her, I refused to give up on her. I felt like I gave in too easily. Probably just rushed into it, but truly loved each other and never changed. You got a lot of feelings on this situation, DB, Mr. Dylan Bryan. All right, folks, I got to ride out. Thank you for the likes. I'm losing light here. Any closing questions? I'm really digging the whole blackness you got going on, Mac. Black shirt, it's in your room. Nice. I usually see you in a sunny room. Thanks, Mr. Slam, and wish you all the best on that lunch, dude. Thanks. Peace all. Well, I'll do my best to do one tomorrow morning. a nice Kyle. Thanks for your input, bud. Good questions. Good to see you, Black Widow. Hope the daughter's doing well. I think you said JC in Pittsburgh or PA. Justin, send your story, and if you want to get my full take, because giving you a take on that particular situation without more details wouldn't be really doing you justice. My short answer is it would be better, Justin, if she reached out to you. It would put you more in the driver's seat, so I would hold off. Mr. Slam and Patricia early, I hope you get on that. Keisha, always good to hear from you, hun. Catherine, welcome. I haven't heard from you before, so this might be a better time for you. N1 Korea. Interesting name. Luna Martinez. Hope to catch you again, Mac. Have a good night. She's okay. College life is getting to her, but she'll be fine. Well, I hope she embraces it and have a good time. So, okay, folks, it's curtains.